This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead End Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me on the show, we got FIFO 24/7.
What it do, what it do.
Nikki Duce.
What's happening?
And Shelton J.
What's the word, man? What's going on?
This me right now.
They say you pro-black.
I am. I'm all the way in. I lost the camera, y'all. That's why we're a little bit behind. But nevertheless, we're going to go ahead and get this show started. We didn't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. I haven't changed any of the settings, so the audio should be good. But let me know if it's not. I can make some adjustments. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. What you got, Nick?
We've been covering a bunch of other sports, so make sure y'all check out the Dead End Sports page for the recap of the Nate Robinson, wasn't it Jake Paul fight, and also the Tyson and Jones Jr. fight.
Yep. Also, I wanted to say that the Dead End Sports Madden League that we started is officially live. We will start playing games tomorrow. So you've had your invite about a week now. So go ahead and accept it. If not, then you can accept it when you get to it. But the games will be live and in action. In addition to that, we also Shelton saying we don't see us on live. Yeah, we live, Shelton.
I don't see it on YouTube.
People commenting. But one other quick thing, we did another quick video today about James Harden and some leaked audio, so that'll be out this week as well. So we're just trying different things. But if you guys want to watch us talk about the Madden League, go to twitch.tv/deadendsports, and you can watch us talk about the league there. All of the league Madden talk will be streamed there, and you guys can watch us play games there as well. But we're trying out some new stuff. But yeah, accept your invite, and whenever you get a chance. But we kicking this thing off. All right, let's go.
So this will probably be mostly an NFL episode, but and with that being the case, let's start off with the biggest league going into it. The biggest game I can think of the week: Kansas City versus Tampa Bay. Bro, man.
Go ahead. What you got to say this week, bro?
I was gonna say. How are y'all grading the Bucs this season? Are they pretenders or contenders?
At this point, they're pretenders.
Mm.
They're pretenders. They've won some games that they looked good. They've lost games that they should that they should win if they are going to be legit contenders. And they lost two games to the Saints in their division, where you got to at least split that. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, they're pretenders, man. I just don't know if it's a good marriage between head coach and quarterback. And what I mean by that is, obviously Bruce Arians doesn't mind airing out a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? Just how he feels. But also I think how he likes to call plays and how he wants to play isn't what Tom Brady is best at now. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe 7-8 years ago, you could have had that style with Tom Brady. But I think that Tom Brady at this point is a quarterback that needs to operate short to intermediate with occasional shots downfield, instead of shots all the time downfield and then working your way down.
It sounds like you're saying Tom Brady is a game manager.
He has been. He's been the greatest game manager that we've seen.
So he's just he's the what is it, a GOAT M? The greatest game manager? What is that, GMO? Like, what is that? Like, I thought this nigga was supposed to come in and be the reason they go up top. You know what I'm saying? Like,
here's the thing, right? Like, we knew that last year with the Patriots, they were devoid of talent. He has the talent, but then you gotta utilize that talent that makes everything work. And what I'm saying is that not everybody is Mahomes. Not everybody was Andrew Luck back in the day when Arians had him. What I'm saying is you got to be more Popovich than D'Antoni. That means that you got to be more fluid with how you play, because you're coaching to the strengths of your players versus saying this is my system and you need to fit it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there needs to be a little bit more give in terms of the relationship of Bruce Arians and in terms of play calling style. You know what I'm saying? And just his overall vision of what this offense could be. Obviously, we know Mike Evans is a take the top off type of wide receiver, right? Like, he's not a burner, but he's fast enough, and then obviously has the physical size. Then you got Marquise Goodwin. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of other weapons, but I just think that the way that Bruce Arians wants to play doesn't suit how Tom Brady plays in 2020. You know what I'm saying? I just, it's not the perfect marriage, and somebody got to give a little something. And it looks like a beautiful disaster at times. And you know, to me, I expected some of this because no OTAs, no training camp, no nothing, brand new, you know, head coach quarterback relationship, all these new weapons, AB, Leonard Fournette. Like, I knew it was gonna be an issue, but by this point, we should have saw who they really supposed to be, which was supposed to be contenders. But at this point, the real team is a pretender.
What you think, Shelton?
I agree with you there, people. I think that this is clear and evident that Bruce Arians is not happy with his marriage. You can tell that he didn't want Brady there, and you can hear it in his comments and the things that he's saying because he throws shots. I'm talking about. I thought Bill Belichick was a straightforward kind of guy when it came about Brady. I thought the way he handled it was kind of funny, but I see Bruce Arians doing the same thing times 10, and I'm like, you ain't earned that yet. Bill Belichick can do that. Mm-hmm. Bruce Arians ain't that. Mm-hmm. So that right there is a disaster in itself. And like people said, some adjustments have to be made. And to be honest, it has to be made by head coach, if you ask me, in play calling, because you have a million weapons. But once again, I think I said it before, addition by subtraction sometimes is better. Keep it kind of simple a little bit. Do what he does best, and he's the GOAT to me. But that's because he wins, and yeah, he wins by playing within himself and being smart. He's not the most talented person on the planet. We know that he's not the most athletic. He's smart, and that's what gets
is he
to the point. I think Tom is smart. I think that's what got him where he is. He's winning those games.
I mean, I don't consider it smart if you don't know what down it is, bro.
It happens, bro.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying, is that smart? Is that smart? I'm just asking, is that smart? Is that smart? It's a simple question.
Smart people make mistakes.
Okay.
Smart people make mistakes.
He's not perfect. That's what he's not.
No one said. I didn't say he was. I just said smart. Cause to me,
that's a mistake, though, right?
That's a mistake.
And you just agreed that smart people make mistakes.
No.
So therefore, Tom
But
Brady
he's
can make a mistake.
we can't be doing it both sides, bro. We can't say, not all people are perfect, and then call him the GOAT. Like, you're the GOAT for a reason. The reason why I call that play out, the reason I call that play out is because he's supposed to be the number one motherfucker on in the fourth quarter, and you need a comeback lead, Mr. Comeback. Nigga, shit, he's trying to be on the comeback now.
Nick, let me ask you this, though. So that one play destroys Tom Brady's entire history?
No, that one play set the tone for the whole season. That one play set the tone for the whole season.
And that's perfectly fair. And I don't 100% disagree. However, the way you come off, you make it seem like, first and foremost,
he's washed. Yes.
Tom Brady cannot make a mistake. From your perspective, the way that you're coming off,
he doesn't make mistakes to y'all.
No.
You're right. Go ahead.
Number one, you come off like Tom Brady cannot make a mistake. Number two, you're acting like one or several mistakes erases the history of what made him who he is. You can't do that. You can't do that. And because his history is so rich in winning meaningful games, you have to give him rope, especially at the end of the career. And we know Tom Brady ain't got more than 2 more years to play. He ain't got more than 2. It's this one, maybe one more, and if he shows something in the next one, he may got one more, depending on who wants to take upon that. But he's toward the end. We know that physically, the man is 42, bro.
That's not our fault. That's what I'm saying. I don't give you. You're not getting no pass from me for being old as fuck and still trying to play football, because we don't get no pass from nobody else. And on top of that, what Sheldon said, he was talking about as far as the marriage, or one of y'all mentioned the marriage not working out and shit. He picked the fucking team. He did the same shit Peyton Manning did when he was a free agent, except Peyton Manning chose the right team.
Well, let me ask you this though. if who has more cachet, Tom Brady or Bruce Arians?
Right.
Just answer the question. It's a legit question.
It's Tom Brady. It's not a
So-
legit
so-
question. It's just it's a rhetorical question.
It's legit.
It's a rhetorical
It's
question.
legit.
Go ahead.
It's legit. So when Tom Brady has more cachet than virtually any other player not named Mahomes or Lamar or Russell Wilson or at this point Kyler Murray, right? Those guys, they're elite. They're on a whole nother level. The rest of these guys, Tom Brady's cachet is bigger than all of them. If he decided to go to any one of those teams, regardless of whatever the head coach said, he was gonna go to that team, bro.
Okay, but why did he choose the Bucks? Why did he choose Bruce Arians if he
I
knows
don't
how
think- I don't
everybody
think-
knows
I
how
don't
Bruce
think-
Arians played?
But
Do you call that shit
But
out?
first and foremost, I think that he chose weather over the head coach.
So he chose. Okay, go
And
ahead.
I also think he chose the roster over the head
The
coach.
roster.
And the
The
same,
roster
and that's
was
and you want to bring up Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning chose the roster over the head coach. He didn't get John Fox. What did John Fox do prior
We
to
know
Peyton Manning?
we know John Fox was not the reason he went there. It was
Exactly.
it was John Elway. John Elway was the reason.
John Elway in that roster.
Yes.
That roster was ready right now. Just like when you look at the Tampa Bay Bucks, the defense isn't what the Denver Broncos had. And the Denver Broncos defense wasn't amazing, but it had more star players than what the Tampa Bay Bucks defense has. But that offense doesn't even compete. Like, the weapons that Tom Brady has right now, Peyton Manning ain't never had that. So I understand the reason why he chose the Bucks. If you can't understand that, bro, then
I'm not saying
why you on this show?
I'm not saying I don't understand it. I'm just saying we can't complain about him we can't complain about the marriage if he chose to get married to the motherfucker. He got down on one knee and proposed to Bruce Arians. And now we talking about, I don't like my wife? Nigga, you chose the motherfucker.
Yeah, but-
and then on top of that, we know how this nigga like to play.
But let me
He
ask
like
you
to
this.
go deep. And when you go deep, you throw picks.
You're not married, right? Have you? What's your longest relationship?
It was about 3-4 years.
3-4 years. In that 3-4 years, how many times did you have to compromise?
It's a black woman I was dealing with. So you already, it's again, rhetorical questions.
Every
Quit
day.
asking, he asking me, damn. He keep asking me rhetorical questions, nigga. Just say what you gotta say, nigga. Hey.
My point is that yes, Tom Brady chose this marriage, but at the end of the day, Bruce Arians got to give a little bit too.
What? But
Because Tom Brady has given. He's the one that has compromised.
Oh, that's me.
I'm talking like I'm Tom Brady. I don't throw the ball downfield 20 times a game. Coach, you want to do that? All right, cool. We'll do that play call. Coach,
Right.
we should run maybe a little bit more. Maybe we should throw some shorter yards. You know what? Let's get AB. That was a compromise on Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians didn't want AB at the beginning of the season, but where's AB now? He's with the Tampa Bay Bucks. So there is a little bit of compromise. What I'm saying is Bruce Arians got to compromise just a little bit more. Just a little bit more on the play calling. Not saying don't take no shots. What I'm saying is don't take 15 shots.
do you?
Six shots.
I think.
But you know what, people, he's trying to say, even, and this is once again another shot, he's trying to say, like, Brady's calling his own plays.
He did say that.
He did. He is. I was just about to bring it up. Brady's been calling his plays for the last few games.
Yeah, he's throwing it all at Tom Brady. To be honest with you, Nick, once again, that's not what makes you the GOAT. What makes you the GOAT is a perfect situation where you win. Jordan ain't a good executive. He's not. We know that. But Jordan is the GOAT. But he's not a good executive. He wouldn't be, Magic wasn't a good coach, but he's one of the greatest. If Tom Brady could just focus on the game, everything would be okay. I ain't gonna say it would be perfect because this is the same team that just gave up 200-something yards to Tariq Hill in the first quarter. So Tom Brady had nothing to do with that. So when we talk about them being pretenders, we gotta look at that side of the ball too. You leaving that man out there on the island on Tariq Hill, who would do that? Like, who would know? My babies would know to cover this man. You know what I'm saying? Double cover, roll covers that way. So that kind of stuff is what makes this team. You can tell, like, Bruce Arians to me is almost like he's saying, "Fuck it, y'all do what y'all do. I'm mad." Like, when you get mad, you just be like, whatever. That's kind of the attitude I see when I look at him. That's kind of what type of person he seems to be.
Well,
okay.
Do you not understand why he's getting why some would say that he's reacting that way is because everything's coming back on him, not the quarterback.
Well, but that's the job of the head coach. And as Shelton was talking, the only thing I could think of is that Belichick took care of every other thing, and all Tom Brady had to do was make the throw. But now you're seeing the greatness of Belichick and also like the greatness of Mike Tomlin. Those type of coaches, they're shields for everything that's happening. You want to talk about all of it? Nothing is gonna leak out from me, right? How many times did we see Belichick really like get on Tom Brady in the media like that?
Hold on a second. They said, people, you're gonna have to talk into the mic a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me better? Let me know.
Can y'all hear me at all?
Move it up a little bit. Yeah.
This is Shelton.
I don't need no. I ain't.
Hold on, Shelton. We're gonna steal real quick. I'll fix you in just a second, Shelton. We'll be able to hear you in a second. Blue. Talk now, Shelton.
Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me? They say I'm low.
They should be able to hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Let me turn everything up. Shelton, just you.
There is video, right?
Yeah. Shelton, you just talk.
Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, you're right here. FIFO?
Mr. G said,
Yo, what it do?
Nick?
Hey, what's up?
So you won FIFO again?
Yo.
Yeah, you too.
It's just me.
And then this is me. And then Shelton, you right here.
You got my mic on the speaker?
Yeah, but there's a microphone right beside you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me better now? Because I said some darn good points y'all should have heard.
They should have heard you anyway.
Yeah.
I just fixed the damn camera. Hold on. Let me turn your volume up here. Say something.
Mic check 1. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we're getting levels.
They still saying you can't hear?
Now, I think they can hear me now. Yeah.
They better.
They just couldn't hear Nick saying what he was saying at all. And it's not his volume. It's what he was saying that they couldn't hear.
Okay.
It was the bullshit.
It ain't bullshit. What's bullshit is y'all trying to cover up Tom Brady.
Nah, man.
Y'all, he's being exposed.
No, look.
He's being exposed as a basic ass quarterback.
Nah, bro. Look, this is the reason why that relationship between head coach and quarterback is so important. Because great head coaches are shields, and especially in the NFL, for their players. You know what I'm saying? What, they can't hear me?
Nah, Nick's super loud.
Great head coaches are shields for their players. And it just shows the greatness of Belichick, right? Tom Brady obviously had to go out on the field and perform, and he did that. His history is his history. What we're seeing now is, and I 1,000,000% agree with Shelton, Bruce Arians at this point is like, man, fuck it. Whatever happens, happens. Which is why he said, yeah, Tom Brady's calling his own plays, defense shit, I don't know. You know, it's just he has a fucking attitude right now. But the greatness of Belichick is, Tom, this is the game plan. This is what you do best. I've collaborated with you. We added 1 or 2 wrinkles. You go do your job. And what is the Patriot way? Just do your job, right? What is Tom Brady's job right now? Is Tom Brady's job to call the plays? Is Tom Brady's job to make sure that people get open? Is it Tom? Like, how many hats does Tom Brady need to wear right now?
Hey, Shelton, you said something that you said a take, and I looked at FIFO, and what the fuck is going on?
I don't know what. That's the second time we do that.
No, it's been doing that. So there's some noises in the studio. Anyway, you said a take. I'm gonna go to. You said that Bruce Arians didn't want Tom Brady. Can you expound on that, brother? Because I don't think I heard that before.
I don't think he ever wanted them to even bring Tom Brady in. I really think that based off what I heard, I don't know where I just heard this at, but Bruce Arians knew, I think that he knew bringing in Tom Brady, he would lose that control that he had over his team. And bringing in Tom Brady proved to do that because even though you're the head coach of the team, you're not the leader of this team. What happened right after Tom got there? Rob Gronkowski came in. be honest with you. I know he was great at one point in time in his career, but to me, he's done. He ain't the same person he was in New England. AB came. We know he didn't want AB, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? You can just tell that. You can tell by his whole attitude, his whole demeanor, that this is not my doing. I ain't doing it. Everything he says leads to my hands ain't on this. You know what I'm saying? And how could you not feel like he didn't want Tom there? It's just evident. Never once did I see him like celebrating the rivalry with Tom Brady. If Tom Brady had went on to San Diego like I thought he probably should have, even though, you know, Justin's having a great year, I thought that Tom would end up there. I don't think he would have been welcomed the same way. I think he would have been welcomed with open arms, and they'd have been rejoicing that he was there. But here it's just like, they didn't want him here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think they wanted James necessarily, but they didn't want him. And it just felt that way.
Damn, okay.
And to me, man, to be honest, I think their issue is that they try hard to, they got a lot of weapons and a lot of personalities, and they try to make that mesh. What I always think about when I think about a situation like this, I don't know if y'all remember, it was years ago when the Lakers brought in Gary Payton, Karl Malone. That was the first actual super team. I don't know if y'all remember that, but something to me felt, I was like, man, Karl Malone with Shaq and Gary Payton and all the players on that team, Kobe, I think, yeah, Kobe, all those guys. I was like, man, it's just too much. It's too much, and it's not going to work out well. And lo and behold, it did not.
They got to the finals though. But they got to the finals.
It was a train wreck though. It was just not. You would think they would have blown out the competition. You'd think they'd have blown. It was a cakewalk to the championship.
What they lose to, FIFA?
And
Detroit basketball.
And that team made it to the championship.
Yeah. 04.
Detroit beat them.
Is that who beat them?
Mm-hmm.
Getting old, man.
I don't even remember stuff like that. I just remember that they didn't win, and they should have, based off the collection of talent. That, you know, that was a team full of Hall of Famers. But when you put all that talent in one room, it's hard to kind of pick and choose who's going to get the ball when and who's going to do what. And like we talked about the Patriot way and knowing your roles, how can you define roles when you got so many different people that do so many different things? To be honest, this team should run the ball maybe 40 times a game. All they got to do is run the ball a little bit more, and you get better results, if you ask me. But it's a lot to deal with when you're trying to get everybody the ball. I think AB had, like, what do you have, 3 catches, 11 yards or something like that?
It's too many mouths to feed. But that, like you said, but like you said, who's the nigga that brought all these motherfucking kids to the table? And that's my thing. Like, that's the thing that I want the accountability to be held everywhere. Do I think Bruce Arians is a great coach? Maybe, probably not. He's a good coach, but he's not great. This is the season that was supposed to showcase that, but we see how that season is going. And then on top of that, you're talking about now, they can't even win their division. They might even be a lower wild card seed than we expected. And they're only beating on bums. And barely at that. So it's just like, to me, it's like, what was this whole experiment about? And why wasn't these, I know maybe COVID could be an excuse, but I feel like we're making a lot of excuses for a guy who was supposed to take him over the top.
Hey y'all, I'm back. Temporarily. I don't know, I hacked something together. But look, I think what I find interesting about this whole thing is that I won't say interesting. What I like is that, you know, Bruce Arians isn't pulling his punches. And I thought that last year he was being like harsh on Jameis Winston. I'm now learning that that's just who this motherfucker is. Like, the way he talked about Jameis Winston is the same way he talking about Brady.
And he talking about Brady like he the only motherfucker that's talking about Brady like this.
So I can respect that. So I realize now that it wasn't what it felt like. So yeah, that's cool. But, you know, I mean, they have 7 wins now. I think they can easily win 3 of the next 4. So I don't think the schedule is tough.
It's mostly division games, but Atlanta's hot right now. They got to face them twice.
Yeah.
Don't mention them that damn team.
Yeah, but I think that'll be fine.
All right. Next topic as far as headline, I know B gonna like this. Detroit Lions fire their head coach and I think the GM too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they did.
Both their ass.
Both
Get
their
out of
ass
here.
gone. Matt Patricia is no more. You don't have to see any more pencil shavings everywhere. Celebrating this motherfucker's gone. But who should be the next head coach of the Detroit Lions?
4:30. You here? Well, look, I'll say this. I think a brother should be there. I would like to see. Bieniemy came to mind. Put a black coach in a black
Detroit?
city. Yeah.
I want him in Atlanta.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
I want him in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah, but look. I don't know who the best coach is. I'm not gonna go solely off of race, but Detroit is. They gotta go get the best name, and they gotta get that man 5 years, because well, I definitely think Bieniemy is the next one up. I think he is the best one. But because of that, he should. He hasn't.
He just basically said I was racist, Shelton, but that's okay.
Well, he kind of was. I
ain't gonna go off a race, but you know,
Bieniemy is the best candidate out there. But as we've seen this past offseason, just because you may be the hottest name or the best doesn't mean that somebody's gonna pick you up for whatever reason, whether that be race or otherwise. I don't know. I'm not making these decisions. But with that being said, I think with another great year of Ken, you look like a ghost.
Yeah, it is bright, huh?
with another year, and we're seeing what Pat Mahomes is doing, we're seeing what this offense is doing, we're seeing the creativity, putting quarterbacks in motion and doing all. Okay, Bieniemy, stop gloating out here. Give this man a head coaching opportunity, and I think that he should have his pick of the litter. I don't know if Detroit is where he would want to go, Ken. And that's the only point I'm trying to make. Like, to me, Atlanta would be more attractive, even though, you have Matt Ryan, but we saw with the right offensive mind, Matt Ryan can get you to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I still think Matt Ryan has enough in the tank to get you to the Super Bowl, and you still got enough around Matt Ryan to get you to a Super Bowl. So I think to me Atlanta is more attractive. I just think that
Raheem got them boys playing though. Why
he
you
do.
think Raheem should keep the job?
I'm not saying look. I'm not saying that he should or he shouldn't. I'm just saying Bieniemy is a better coach. That's all I'm saying. So at the end of the day, the point I'm making is Bieniemy should have his pick of the litter, and I don't know if the Lions will be top 3.
Right. I saw somebody say that Bieniemy should be the coach of the Chargers, and I agree with that. I think that would be the
I can see that.
That would be the dream job for him and any other coach for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true.
LA is beautiful. You got a franchise QB. You got hella DBs.
Oh, there you go.
You got wide receivers. That team is running back. That team is ready to win right now.
Mm-hmm. They are, and that's an offensive minded team that you could build around. You got a really good defense there too. You got everything you need except for good coaching decisions. That's what that team lacks.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to bring in as a coach that can make that happen. Somebody who can help cultivate this quarterback, make him get from this level to the superstar level we always talk about, and who can just keep that team moving on the right path. That's what you need, and honestly, that's where I would go over Detroit. But
4:30.
What up, though?
Talking about your boys, bro.
Which one? Which boys you talking about? Pistons, Lions, what?
The Lions.
I'm assuming the Lions.
ain't nobody gonna talk about the Pistons.
I mean, look, we talking about the Lions, so it's the shot. Yeah, I can't believe we talking about the Lions. What about them?
Yeah.
Who should be the new head coach?
Oh, they hired a new head coach, or
No,
who's gonna
we're
be the head
asking you who you feel should be the new head coach.
coach? Oh, I mean, I know they're not gonna do this, and this is just a long shot. But I'll call up Jim Caldwell like, hey, bro, man, I was our
B. I was gonna say the same thing. I promise you, I was thinking they need a veteran presence and somebody who is proven to win there. Who other than him? Why not bring him back? We made a mistake.
Hey, bro, hey, man, so, Yeah,
about
we
that.
got rid of Bob Quinn, you know what I mean? Like, so the guy that fired you, we made sure we put in a new gym in your place that you can trust. Bam, hey, can you want to come back, bro? I mean, we'll pay you such and such. Come on back, bro.
Right.
B, you ain't thinking they gonna hit him with the hey big head, how you doing?
Yep.
Bruh.
Hey, Nick, you right. Hit him with the hey,
WYD.
big head. How you been doing? What's up? Like, so
Oh,
what
man.
had happened a few years ago, man? We sorry. Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of any like other coaches up and coming. Like, I can't think of any for them to hire, but and as far as the GM, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a package, kind of a package. Usually when they do that, when they fire GMs and coaches, they usually kind of bring in like a package deal of a GM, and he bring his coach in or whatever. So, but yeah, I would say hit up Caldwell, man, and apologize. Get on your sorry tour, man. Get on your sorry tour and just hit up Caldwell. But yeah, I don't know who they're gonna hire, who I'm looking at. I can be like, oh, that's a good hire. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think any black coaches. Isn't it a black coach? That coach, he's a coordinator for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Coach that,
Very enemy, but that's not gonna happen. But yeah.
wishful thinking though. I mean, wishful thinking. Bring him on. Give him a shot. I'm like Ken. Look, pro brother, man. Let's get any black coach coordinators right now that's doing good. Have their resume up. Give them a shot. Let them come on and try to do something with the Lions. I mean, ain't nowhere to go but up with the Lions. So if you can do what Caldwell did when he first got hired, that's a win, or at least in our eyes. But obviously that wasn't good enough for him to keep his job. So,
Well, now since we're talking about black coaches, I can go a couple ways, but I want to start with this one. The Steelers still undefeated, and we've talked about like how Mike Tomlin should be coach of the year. But are they the best team in the AFC?
No.
no, the Chiefs are.
Yep.
Even an undefeated team
Doesn't matter.
with Mike Tomlin as
What
the head
your
coach.
eyes tell you, bruh?
I'm just asking the question.
30-2. Do you know what I'm referring to?
His touchdown to interception ratio?
And it ain't Ben Roethlisberger, bruh. Look, the Chiefs are the most talented team in the AFC. They're the most scariest offensive team. And
Y'all see what Tyree Hill did? He was getting his Shannon Sharp on.
Yep.
Somebody-
Help is on the way.
Help is on the way.
Yeah, man. Like that team is the scariest team. Now, I'm not saying that I'm disrespecting the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're a top 2, top 3 team. They're the second best team in the AFC with the best defense. By far, they have the best defense in the AFC. But at the end of the day, you got to put up points, and nobody's playing at a higher level right now at the position outside of Patrick Mahomes, man.
I'm gonna do a hot take then, bro.
Yeah.
First of all, Tyreek Hill ain't getting 200 yards in the first quarter on the Steelers. That's first and foremost.
Correct.
I give you that.
Second of all, based on how the Raiders have played the Chiefs, I can easily see the Steelers doing something with better personnel, which they have on defense. And
Right.
I think the Steelers are the favorites in the AFC. I don't think the Chiefs are.
So my only issue with the Steelers being the favorites, you know what? Go ahead, Shelton. Let me pull up some actual facts.
The real only actual fact to it though, people, is to be the man, you got to beat the man. That great Ric Flair said that a long time ago, and the Steelers have not been beaten. So I agree. I've always thought that Kansas City is a super tough team, and they're gonna be a tough out regardless as to who plays them. I wouldn't want to see them, but if anybody can do it, it's proven that Pittsburgh can. The only thing that Pittsburgh has done this year is beat every team on their schedule. I don't care how you win those games. I don't care about the ugly wins. I don't care about how many points you score. I don't care about none of that. Every game they end up with more points than their opponent. That's what being the best is about. And we cannot say the same for Kansas City. So that one makes all the difference in the world to me in football. Now, it may not mean that much in boxing or other sports, but in football, that's the most important thing. So until they've been beaten, they are number one.
But let me ask you this, Shelton. Would that one make a difference if it's once it's turn come playoff? Because usually when playoff come, you throw your records out the window. It's pretty much 0-0. Once playoffs start. And
Now,
once playoffs, a different beat.
Now, once playoffs start, the only reason I say it still matters, well, it would in a normal year more than this year,
Right.
is the
Right.
home field advantage that you have. That other than that, because playing at Heinz Field, uh, or Pittsburgh at in the playoffs is a tough challenge for anybody.
Yeah.
So
You got the weather.
the fact that the crowd ain't there on your back is gonna be a help for some of those opposing teams. That's why this thing is so up in the air to me. Is there's no home field advantage. But other than that,
Well, what's the Steelers' schedule? Like who? I haven't been noticing like who they've been beating for them to be 10-0. Like has their schedule been tough? Have they really beat like some top-notch playoff teams in these 10 wins?
I'm about to pull it up.
it's been very favorable in their defense. They ain't really play. They played what's his name when he was.
These are the teams they faced so far. They faced the Giants week 1, Denver week 2, Houston, Philly, Cleveland, Tennessee, Baltimore, Dallas, Cincinnati, Jacksonville. Now, how they closing out the season is Baltimore's up next. Obviously, they play tomorrow. Then it's Washington. Then it's Buffalo. Then it's Cincinnati again. Then it's the Colts. Then it's Cleveland. Now, technically, they're facing.
That schedule do favor them. I can see them maybe losing 2 games at the remainder. Maybe I can see them going 14-2 easily.
Yeah, I'm saying they're out of the last 6 games they played, 4 of them are playoff teams.
Right.
But technically,
the only thing about that is, you got the Browns in there. The Browns, even though they've only lost 3 games, like we talked about earlier today, the Browns are 6-7 plays from being 5-6 at this point. So they're not that tough. The Colts are hit or miss. I think they're tough, but
it's like when they hit. But when they off, they off.
The only team that really, which any NFL team can beat you on any given Sunday. So that's
right.
That's Dallas should have beat them, and that's saying a lot. But the Bills are the real test on this schedule. To play the Bills, that's a tough team, but no matter what, the boys come to play. So that's going to be the game. This Ravens game depends on who plays because they ain't got maybe 4 players left.
I know, right?
So
they got to put replacement players out there.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they're gonna call some people out the street to play. But that's really the game to circle is that game in 3 weeks against the Bills because they can do some things. The other teams on here, they could. I'm not saying that they can't beat them, but that's not. This is possible for them to go undefeated.
What
Put it that way.
What you think, Cam?
About the Steelers?
Are they the best team in the AFC?
Are they the favorites?
No. But I will say I do agree partly with what you're saying, Nick, about like the defense because I saw what Tampa Bay did in the second half to the Chiefs. Maybe the Chiefs, kind of took the foot off the pedal a little bit. But Tyreek Hill ain't running past him. It's probably gonna be a safety over the top somewhere to protect against that. But the question is, can they score with Patrick Mahomes? And I think they could score enough to win if they get enough stops. They've had an easy schedule. To Tigolo Kane's point, so have the Chiefs. And any given Sunday, as to what Shelton said. So I think they'll be a viable threat as long as they have a defense. We know good defense can slow good offensive teams down. And I think the Steelers do have offensive talent.
I think they got a damn good offense.
Yeah, they don't have a running game, but they got receiving weapons. They got a veteran quarterback, and they got that defense. So, and they got a hell of a coach.
It's gonna be like defense versus offense, really. Because I don't think the Chiefs' defense is like really like super world beaters like that. So it's really their offense is really get the Chiefs going. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty much like the best of the defense against one of the best of the offense. I think. And who's gonna crack?
Yeah. I will say I ain't gonna. Well, I'll wait until next week. Let me see what the Raiders do next week.
You about to call out Chucky?
Nah, not yet. I'm gonna wait.
Well, since we speaking on playoff teams, let's go down to Miami. Who should be the starting quarterback for this damn team,
Tua.
man? Because at this point, it's getting they're a legit playoff contender.
Why are they having issues with who's going to be their starter between Tannehill and Tua?
Because Flores trying to win, trying to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, you talk about Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Tannehill's with Tennessee.
Fitzpatrick. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Fitz.
You think
Why?
Fitz?
Because they're trying to make the playoffs.
But Fitz is a gunslinger that makes costly mistakes.
He's good enough to put a couple more wins on the board, and then he's gonna fuck up. What Tua hasn't looked all that great when he played one good game.
Yeah, but he's the future.
Right.
So
Yep. And also, Tua doesn't make the same type of I'm a beat you mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm gonna fit this or I'm gonna do that. Like he doesn't play outside of himself.
he will make those mistakes because he's a rookie.
Of course, but at some point he's gonna have to take those growing pains, and it's better for him to take those growing pains now versus another year. Because here's the thing, Ken. This year, let's be honest, are they gonna win anything? No. They could possibly win the division, maybe one playoff game with Tua starting or Fitzpatrick starting, but you're not a championship team. Why not get Tua ready to start quarterbacking a championship team now? Because those mistakes have to happen at some point in time. Have them happen earlier rather than later when the team is more ready to compete. Because when the team is more ready to compete, you can't afford those type of mistakes. Have those mistakes. You're not really competing.
It should have happened at the beginning of the season. He should have been the starter so he can make those mistakes. Now in the middle of a playoff run, you can't put him in to make those mistakes like that. Not when you got a veteran QB.
You can. You know why? Because it doesn't matter if you make the playoffs or not.
It does matter.
What does it matter?
It does. Experience matters. I think it matters for Flores to get that on his coaching resume.
But here's the thing.
Money.
Well, obviously, professional sports, the more games you play, the more money you make. However, if we're looking at it from a team building perspective, right? Everybody in the NFL knows Flores is arguably the best new coach in the league, right? Under 3 years, he's the best under 3-year coach in the NFL, right?
Better than Patricia.
We're not even gonna go there. But
Yeah.
Oh shit, you still Gucci?
He turned it a little bit.
No, you did.
There we go. All right.
No, I'll just lean this way.
Yeah, this.
No, we good. Yep.
There we go.
All right. So with that being said, nothing. Even if they don't make the playoffs, nobody's gonna say nothing bad about Flores. Flores is right now. He's protected. He could do no wrong right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Give Tua the lumps. Give him the lumps now, so that way when your team is really ready to compete, he's ready to compete. Not the other way around, where now the team is ready, but now he got to take the lumps.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
All right. Shelton, I'll let you go. Hey, Shelton,
One
real
second.
quick, I just want to address something in the chat about the Steelers. Yes, they do have 4 playoff opponents coming up, but right now they've had an easy schedule. And that's what we have to grade them on. So, all right, it's all yours.
What I was gonna say about that, people, is you're right in the sense that this is a very unique situation. I think we talked about this before. They're in a position that nobody expected them to be in, including themselves. So I'm sure, Ken, to your point, he wasn't ready to start the season at the beginning. He wasn't physically ready at the beginning of the season. He was still coming off that surgery, hip surgery, and getting himself back into shape. So I think this was the plan all along, was to put him in after this bye week. They probably had already discussed it with everybody. But what threw everything off was they had won 3 games in a row. They were a playoff contender. Nobody, including nobody in Miami, expected this team to be a playoff contender. But yet here they are because of great coaching, players believing in themselves, everybody's being elevated, and then playing better. Fitz does give them the best chance to win now. And no matter what sport you're in, FIFO, you know yourself. You're trying to win now. If you can win now, you win now. I get it's better long term if he gets his lumps, but he's already played. He's played some, so he's got his experience in there that you would need. At this point, I would just make sure that he don't get hurt for the rest of the year. Have him watch and learn, get to these playoffs, and see what can happen. It don't take but a few wins Like B said earlier, if you're in the playoffs, you ain't got to win but what 4 or 5 games.
Mhm.
Anybody can do that. So if you're there, you got a shot. Especially once again, there's no crowds. The pressure that's normally there is not the same pressure that they'll feel this playoff season. So I think you go with experience. Say that man's hip, let him get a little stronger. He's had some game experience on his belt, so he kind of he's felt the game and felt how it can go. Now let's make this push and do something we ain't done in years and ain't nobody expected us to do, which is make the
What are we
playoffs.
talking about here?
That's what you should do.
Come on, bruh. What are we talking about here? This ain't a spades game where you can bet on books and hopefully you'll get them. Motherfucker, you don't talk about the playoffs like, oh, you could just win 1, 2, 3, or 4. Anybody can win them. No, they can't. That's why we have favorites coming into the season. Because we know some motherfuckers, actually most motherfuckers, ain't gonna make it. They ain't playing for shit. They playing for pride right now. The games they winning, yes, it looks good, and yes, it's in the right direction, but they're not doing shit with Fitzpatrick. We all legit just said they not doing shit. So what winning are we talking about? Getting to the playoffs and get knocked out first round? All right, big whoop. Now you got a lower first round pick. That's it.
Well, there are going to be a lot of teams that get to the playoffs and get knocked out in the first round.
True, but the thing is that we understand that Miami has a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of
So do the other teams that's going to make the playoffs.
but
Yeah, I mean, to Shelton's point, he's just saying, this is a one-game elimination. You know what I'm saying? So if you get there, hey, look, if we can make a run at this, let's make a run at this. You never know what can happen. We've seen crazier stuff happen in the NFL, where teams that sometimes we didn't think had no business being in there or barely making the playoffs, making a run. So
and we did it a couple times.
Yeah. So it's
Anybody can do it.
anybody can do it.
And we've seen Fitzpatrick get incredibly hot, right? But he gets really cold right after that. So again, I think the way that this roster is built and the way that they're coached, they can make the playoffs with whatever quarterback, right? The point I'm trying to make is why do it with Fitzpatrick when Tua can do the same thing?
He can't.
He can't.
He can't. Not right now. He's not ready. He's not ready.
No,
But he
Tua
was.
has had games under 100 yards passing, people. So he's been a good. I mean, once again, it's been awesome coaching, awesome defense, but he's not making the difference in these wins. He's managing those games awesome, but once again, what did he pass for, like 93 yards in one of those games against Buffalo that they won. So no, he's not making a difference. I think Fitz can make a difference. Either way, he can. He can lose a game for him too, but for the most part, he gives you a better chance to win in some of those games. So I think I would go with winning as opposed to developing at this point because you've proven that you can win. They only won game out of first place in the division, and they already got a game up on Buffalo. So if they can win a couple more games, they're in first place in their division. What more can you ask for at that point? You don't develop when you're that good. You win.
Then why draft the QB? Top 5.
Well, you draft him because Fitz is not your long-term answer.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's working in the short term in the interim, you ride it.
When has
And this
Fitz
guy
ever
learned
worked in
from
the short
somebody.
term or the interim?
If that's the case,
When has he ever taken a team to the playoffs? Period.
When Alex Smith was in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes probably could have started then too. But he watched and learned and became the Patty Mahomes.
But Alex Smith was winning games, winning playoff games. He went to didn't he go to a AFC title game or at least a divisional game? When has Fitz ever shown us that in his career?
Fitz winning games now.
Playoff
That's
games.
what I'm saying. We ain't talking about his career. We talking about right now.
Hold on. No, that's what I'm about to go back to. Y'all talked about Tom Brady's career to explain why y'all excusing him right now. But when we talk about Fitz, it's only about right now. Like, we ain't got all that history of him doing bum shit, and he's a bum fuck. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this nigga ain't shit.
I'm saying that Tua ain't shit.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You did it. You did this to me.
That's why I'm doing
You
this.
did
Go ahead and
this.
talk to this.
You
Say your
did
shit.
this.
Just say that then. Don't say Fitz is good to win now. Don't lie to me, Kim. All right? You can lie to yourself. Don't lie to me. Tell me how you really feel. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
What you saying, Shelton?
At this point, Fitz gives you the best chance to win games. That's just all I'm saying. Between the two of them, Fitz gives you the best chance to win. Tua can learn, but once again, He's had his on field experience.
He had 2 games. He had 2 games.
That's still more than something.
And you can say, and I'm surprised with a straight face. You're literally telling me that Fitzpatrick gives us the best chance to win. That's it for me. I don't even want to talk to you about
what
this.
have you seen from Tua to indicate to you that he can?
That's the question. What have I seen from him that says he can't? I only seen him play twice.
No. You've seen enough to show you that he can.
I seen that he's a rookie.
So
He's
let me
taking
ask
his
you this.
lumps.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying that Fitzpatrick is a better quarterback than Tua?
Yes, I am saying that. I am saying that right now. Fitzpatrick is a better quarterback than Tua. Absolutely.
Hell, brother.
The proof is in the pudding.
Nah, buddy. See, Ken, that's why you messed up.
Now, I will say this though, people. He's the better quarterback than him today.
Nah.
Yes, he is. I mean, that's the same. Yep. Like I said, we saying this guy's coming off injury. We know he's not all the way right yet. You know what I'm saying? Will he be better? I think so. I hope so. But he ain't there yet. And once again, this team knows what Fitz can do. They believe in Fitz magic right now. It's working for them. So why not ride it and let's see where it can go? Why not? I mean, you already got draft picks galore. So just ride it and see what happens. And if you win, you win. You'll be further along than you ever had before. We wasn't talking about Miami at this time no other year. So why not? Why would you throw it away for his development of what may happen? You know what I'm saying? Just give him a shot to win, man. Keep that momentum running.
All right.
You one game out of first place.
I'm gonna leave that. We're gonna have to address that next week. See where they at. Speaking of another team that's doing it without lead quarterback, the Saints. Hey, should the Saints be? Are they the best team out the NFC? I can argue they could be the favorites out of the NFC.
If the Broncos, we could also argue if the Broncos had a quarterback this week, they would not have won the game. We just don't know.
Get them, Shelton.
Really do that much. You know
yes.
Oh, hold on, Shelton. What did you say before when you started off the program? You said something about the Steelers. What did you say about their schedule? You said they play whoever's in front of them, right?
Yes.
So if the Broncos ain't got their shit figured out, that has nothing to do with the Saints, right?
That's unfair.
What I'm saying is the offense was not impressive, and I don't think that they can keep it up. And they lost games. What I said about the Steelers is they ain't lost no game. That was my point about the Steelers. So regardless of how shaky they were, they ain't lost to nobody. The Saints can't say the same. So in saying that wasn't that impressive of a win, that particular win was not that impressive for me. I'm talking
about holistically.
Next week.
How holistically for the season, they've been consistent. They lead the division handsomely. They lead the division handsomely. They've proven last year that they don't have to have Drew Brees to win games and get to the playoffs. And now they got the White Vic 2.0. There's a lot of White Vics coming out, kid. We gotta be scared.
I can't even call him Vic. Like I saw somebody say he's the new Tim Tebow. That's what he is. He ain't even Vic, because Vic at least had some semblance of a quarterback offensive game. He ain't got that. He ain't got it. We just have to see what happens. But if Drew Brees comes back and he can be what he was when he left,
he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back, son.
He retired.
He's done.
They broke his whole inside. Everything on him broke. Yeah. So I don't see how they can be.
Who hit him?
Do anything. Let's see what happens this week with the Falcons though. And I ain't no Falcons fan at all, but I don't see how the Saints can pull this one out.
The dude from the 49ers. I forgot his name.
Black.
94, yeah.
He black?
Yeah. Big black dude.
We know what that was about.
Oh, you talking about that?
We know what that was.
He was still hot over the summer and shit. Hey.
That was
hey,
about.
Not even that. It was his offensive line. They was like, look, go ahead. We ain't even gonna stop you this time, boy. I've been waiting for a nigga to come through and beat his ass, man. Hey, that's funny. I forgot all about that shit.
Yeah. And that's what they were saying was gonna happen at the beginning of the season too. I forgot about that too. O-line just saying, Ole, go get him.
Look, here's the thing, man. I should have known you can't ever trust the media. But nevertheless, Taysom Hill is a joke. He is a joke. And they hype this dude up I don't even remember who he
They
played.
really did.
But he had like 200-some yards, a couple of rushing touchdowns. And it wasn't even that impressive. They were like, oh, look at Taysom Hill. Oh, the quarterback of the future. This dude went out against the Broncos, who had a practice squad quarterback playing who completed one pass for 19 yards and 13 yards. And he only had less than 50-some yards than Taysom Hill. What in the hell was that? Shelton was right. Shelton, you let the brother off easy. That was a joke of a game. And if Nick, you're right. If the Broncos had their shit together and they had and their quarterbacks didn't go out there and act all crazy, knowing the NFL is running around with COVID everywhere, they could have beat them with him playing like that. And they gave him the keys to that. Get out of here. So, and he should have been better than he was last year. Like, he had 68 yards throwing like in the third quarter. And nobody said anything about this. Man.
I mean, give him credit. Like, it's his third game.
Credit?
This is his third game.
Oh my gosh.
He's undefeated. He undefeated right now, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Shelton, what you say about the Steelers? They ain't lost yet. Whatever his name, Taysom, I don't know what the fuck with his name, Tyson Chicken, whatever his name is. That nigga, hey, he pulling him up the hill. I'll tell you that. He ain't dragging him down. He ain't dragging him down the hill. He pulling him up. Hey,
but is he better than Jameis?
I don't think so, no. But if you win games, you win games. It's all about winning games.
Well, Jameis could have won some of these games. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
When I saw like that, he only had like 68 yards passing on 6 of 18 attempts or whatever it was. It don't even matter. I was like, now I see why people within the organization and people on that team were thinking that Jameis should have been the starter. He should have lit them boys up. They didn't even have a quarterback. They didn't have a quarterback.
What I was listening on, like, because a lot of, even the announcers, like, you know how they do, I forgot, was it Monday night or Sunday, the Sunday afternoon pregame stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was like, why the fuck are they starting this nigga? Like, legit. Like, Teddy Bruschi, he the most, button up PC guy. He was like, bro, I have no idea why they starting him over Winston.
Yep.
And I think the only thing I got from was that Sean Payne was like, look, we spent a lot of bread and time developing this motherfucker. We want to see what he is. They said he's the next Steve Young or whatever the fuck. They've been just throwing out Hall of Fame
They're
labels.
just trying to find a white quarterback.
Nah, they just trying to find the white excuse, the great white hope.
They coming too. I'm telling y'all, these white running quarterbacks, they on
That's
the way.
what I'm saying. We running the league right now, so we gotta savor this shit, y'all.
Yep.
It's gonna be gone in about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence is gonna be the starter of this shit. I'm gonna let you know right now. He's gonna be the starter of this shit.
But he did have a decent first game, but Winston could have did that shit. But this second game, man, bro, I'm telling y'all, I don't know. I don't believe it.
Winston threw for 5,000 yards the previous year.
Yeah.
If Winston played in that game, they would have scored 40-something.
And I'm glad you said that because I know he only has 9 interceptions, but a lot of that is experience. Tom Brady he's just not going to turn the ball over like that. But he has more interceptions at this point this year than he had all of last year because Arians' offense is a high-risk, high-reward offense, but you also get penalized for it. Some of the throws some of the interceptions Brady's throwing are some of the interceptions at a higher rate that Winston threw last year. You look at some of the throws like Kyle, you and Shelton. You guys were like, who was Tom Brady throwing to? What was Tom Brady doing in the last game that he lost? Those are some of the same questions that people were saying about Winston. Like, what are you doing? Some of those routes, people running the wrong routes. Evans ran the wrong route one way and shit like that. And they came out and said, not all that shit was Winston's fault. Now you playing with Brady, who's less inclined to throw picks based off of experience, and Winston isn't. It's just something to pay attention to.
Brady's number 2 in turnovers outside of Carson Wentz.
Really?
He's behind Carson Wentz.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't all the way surprise me again because of the situation of the season. It doesn't 100% surprise me. But just here,
it does surprise me because we went in this season saying The one thing that Tom Brady gonna do better than Jameis Winston is not turn the ball over.
Yep.
And he's doing it better than Jameis did last year.
Well, he's not turning it over like Jameis, but I think a lot of that is he's been in the league like 40 years.
Of course. And some of that is Bruce Arians. Some of it is, like you said, wide receivers running around routes. All of this, all of that. But as you were talking, obviously we know that the marriage between Brady and Arians isn't going the way it's supposed to. So it had me thinking, like, okay, so what quarterback, not named Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or, like what quarterback would fit the style of offense that Bruce Arians wants to run?
That's in the league now?
That's in the league now. The first person that came to my head was Deshaun Watson.
Nah.
Nope.
I would go with a young guy. I would go Joe Burrow.
I don't want any black quarterback in that system.
That's why I said Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's a gunslinger. You know what I mean? I think he likes to push. I know his injury is the reason why you shouldn't pass as much, but I could see him like Bruce Arians, like I want that kid.
Mm-hmm. I think the quarterback to put in there, put Carson Wentz as in there. Big arm.
He do like to take shots.
Throw the ball, love to throw shots. I mean, he has the talent. Maybe he just needs a little bit of. We always say, at least I think he just needs better coaching. It couldn't hurt.
So what do you think? How many years does Carson Wentz still have on his contract?
4. That contract has.
That contract is atrocious.
It hasn't even kicked in yet. I was just looking at it today.
Bruh, he's owed like 30 something next season, and this is like dead cap. Like if they try to cut him, it'd be like high 20s.
So that's why they can't trade him.
And it'll be like the next year after that, 22. He's owed like 25 or 22 million.
Yeah,
like they can't do shit with him.
Yeah,
at all.
That's why I was because in the chat I said, well, before I looked at the contract, I said just reuniting with Frank Reich. He had his best year under Frank Reich. And we see Frank Reich is managing to win games with Phillip Rivers, so it's not great. Phillip Rivers is like 16-9, but he's old as shit. So just reunite them. And I started looking at the contract. I was like, well, they can't do that shit either because of the contract. I don't know how much they would be willing to give up to pay for that, like whatever their future holds. So, but
listen, Carson Wentz got PTSD. There's no point. He ain't gonna be nothing no more at this point. And we talk about all the time how he gets there. And to be honest, most of it is not his fault, but he will never be the same. I just don't think he's worth it anyway.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think he's.
It's possible.
I don't think he's completely trash. I just think he's highly overrated.
I think now he's. I think people are definitely coming off the Wentz wagon, but my assessment of the situation now more than ever, after looking at the details of the contract, is that Peterson is out of there because they've already decided who their guy is. We know it's Wentz. So there's
the contract decided who their guy is.
Well, is that both? Yeah, and I think that because of that, they're gonna be like, look, Peterson, you gotta go. And the other thing I was gonna say before the show is that when I looked at the contract, I thought about some of the criticism Q has had of the organization, and I understand drafting hurts as insurance because Wentz can't stay healthy. I get all that, but at the same time, if you pay Wentz all that money and you made the decision that he's your guy, then you could sign a competent quarterback, a veteran quarterback off the. Oh, okay. You can sign a quarterback in free agency to be insurance, or you could draft one at a later date. You didn't necessarily. Yeah, I'm back. You didn't necessarily have to waste a pick when you have so many other high need areas. And then you look at the fact that they drafted Rager over Jefferson. What in the entire hell is that? It makes absolutely no sense.
That's where Q comes in and he's gonna be like, this is why we shouldn't evaluate Carson Wentz the way we are. This is why the Phillies a horrible franchise being run right now, even though they won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. And I think anybody in Philly would say, I'd rather take these last 3 years that we've gotten as long as we still got that Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's why I'm like, I don't give a fuck about all that shit. But this is why those reasons are why people defend Carson Wentz and defend the situation that he's in. But to me, it's like, once you get paid, that's what you're supposed to clean all that shit up.
Yeah, well, he can't because everything else is a mess. But one way or the other, I think just when I looked at it, when I really sat back and looked at this, I'm like, Peter. My first thing I looked at this morning when I saw, because I knew they were going to lose the game. Everybody knew that. And when I looked at the record, I looked at the remaining schedule. I'm like, oh shit, they may only win 2 more games.
To Philly?
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So Wentz is playing like trash. They may not win this division. That's terrible. And what next? And I was like, Peterson is done. They're going to get him out of there. So then I said, okay, so if that's my hypothesis, let me try to prove or disprove it. So I started looking at, just the situation. I was like, okay, contract. Damn, this contract hasn't kicked in. This motherfucker still owe something, $100 million or whatever, 70-something million guaranteed. The dead cap, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, oh, the contract, like people said, is their guy. Peterson is definitely done.
Yeah. I think they'll probably fire the head coach and GM.
Yeah. Is he the one drafting all the players?
Mm-hmm.
And they should, because they got like the second highest payroll in the NFL, I think, something like that.
Yeah. I heard that.
Highest payroll in the NFL on that team.
Yeah.
And that's just.
Yeah, bad. Yeah, they just got to clean house, and they got to find somebody to come in and tell them, look, our contract dictates that Wentz is the guy. We've seen flashes of it. We've also seen the injuries. How do we avoid the injuries? We got to clean up this line to reduce the amount of hits that he's taking. And then you need to draft talent and see what happens. But, I agree, Shelton. I think the PTSD thing is real. That was something Kyle was pointing out in the chat about how, as soon as he hiked the ball, he's got happy feet. Yeah, he gets scared. So
and then I think I heard a stat that said that, like, when we talk about like why he's got happy feet, they said that most of the time his sacks come on, or like most of him, getting pressure and stuff is like 4 seconds longer than he's holding the ball. Like he's holding, like it happens like I think it was like 32 plays outside of last week or this week. 32 out of the 40 sacks he's gotten was been like when he was holding on the ball 4 seconds or longer. So it's like that's decision making.
But that's also wide receivers being hurt and throwing literally the launch.
Yeah, but what quarterback gets 4 seconds to hold on to the ball?
None. But at the same time, like how many quarterbacks have the wide receivers that he has? Not many teams. He arguably has the worst wide receiving core in the league, especially the most injured wide receiving core in the league. So he doesn't have those guys that are getting open quick. So that's not 100% on him. Now I think he takes the lion's share, but that's not 100%.
No, I don't think no one's blaming him 100%. But in my opinion, when I watched that Seattle game, the Eagles was kind of in it. That defense stepped up. I mean, Metcalf had a good game, but that defense stepped up, and Carson threw a couple bad throws. But if he corrected that, we talking about a competitive game. But since we're all in the division of the NFC East, obviously somebody's gonna win sub 500.
Oh, here we go, propaganda.
Yeah, this shit crazy, bro.
So should a team make the playoffs if they're sub 500?
No. Oh, I thought you were about to push for your boys.
Oh no! You know me. I'm waiting till I'm humble myself, kid. I don't talk shit now until and they hurt my boy, so I can't even talk about my nigga like that. You see, he was on the greatness, but they hurt my nigga. Now we got Copa Boy punk ass in there.
So but, they hit Danny Dimes in the coins.
There's loose change on the field, kid. There's loose change on the field. But so the sub 500 team. I know the only two that I remember. I remember the Seahawks back in 2010, and I think there was a team in 2014, the Carolina Panthers. That was your squad, Shelton. 2014.
Yes.
They were sub 500. They both won playoff games though. But should a team be able to get that opportunity? Because especially in this new format that we have, it's only the first seed that gets a bye. So the second overall seed is gonna play a bum ass team. And it's like, but usually that team would always have a bye. So it's like Patty Mahomes could play the fucking Dolphins.
Oh, so they'll play Fitz.
But I'm just saying, like, do y'all think that's fair?
I do. I think that the only reason I think it's fair is because your job is to win your division, and that's the number one job. Even though they really technically don't deserve it as far as the record shows, I just think it makes it more interesting because if you all felt like you were out, there's really nothing to play for. This is, I don't know about y'all, but I watch it like because it's a train wreck. I watch it every week because I'm excited to see which team is going to get that one win because out of that division, probably ain't but one of them teams going to win that week.
Yeah.
I'll watch them to see which team that's going to be. And I am interested to see what happens when they get to the playoffs every year. So that's the only reason I say that, not because it makes sense as far as them being better than the teams that don't make it. It just makes sense because that's how the divisions are set up.
As a player in Madden who almost had to win his division at 7-9, yeah, I think it's fair. You know, you get a chance at the playoffs, but you know, I think it really comes down to where you seed those guys, and whether or not they deserve to play a home game. And I think winning, you should be rewarded for the division, but I think that making the playoffs should be it, and it should stop there. And then I think the rest of the rules should kick in.
Right.
It's definitely unfair to everybody else, especially when you look at the NFC West, and you got teams that have 10 wins or whatever and can't make the playoffs. Yeah, that's messed up. But you know,
because that's like a good shitty record. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to define like.
Yeah.
Because like, how do you get mad over 10 wins?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you tell your team like, oh, we ain't do good enough? That's my only concern is because it's like. You look at and I'm even talking about my Giants, but like you look at that division, it's most likely gonna be 7-9, maybe that. You know what I'm saying? Based on how some of these games where you thought they were gonna win and they still lost.
Yeah.
Like, how is that? How does that justify the whole point of winning football games? Because then it kind of goes against the whole point of like Sheldon said, if you win, you win, but you're losing.
They're not trying to lose.
Shit. Some of the way Washington is.
But Ken, I'm with you though. I think what would make more sense though is once you've made the playoffs, based off record, that's who should get the bye, not division winner. Everything else should be seeded accordingly. The higher seed gets home field and everything. So by that method and thinking, whoever wins this division should be the last placed team in the division. So no matter what, they should automatically play the opening weekend wild card game to see if they can move on. The bottom two teams, record-wise, should be playing in the wild card. That's how you handle it. But to win a division, you should be in the playoffs.
All right. Well, let's get to these Week 13 picks. Sheldon, do you have up our record right now as far so far this season?
I don't. I really don't. I hadn't checked. I'm sure I'm winning though.
Nah,
you ain't winning shit.
I'm killing it.
Oh, let me double check real quick. But before, as I'm doing that, this week we only got 3 games. This upcoming, we're getting to the latter half of the season, with only 3-4 games left of the season. So the games are getting real dicey, and that's why the picks that I got, I think they should be interesting, even though they may not be sexy names. But the first one I got is Cleveland at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Who you say, B?
Yeah. Tennessee is definitely it.
Yeah, Tennessee.
You going Tennessee?
Tennessee.
I'm going with the Browns.
Hey.
Baker, baby.
I was going to say,
I'm out of here.
Brownies for me.
Hey.
Yeah, brownie points.
You've been eating too many brownies.
Hey. All I'm saying is that they're 8-3, bro.
I know.
They're 8-3.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
They're a legit playoff team.
They have because they have talent. And Coach Stefanski, is not a bum ass dude.
Hey,
Like, he can actually coach football.
What was the one consistent thing I kept saying about last season? Freddie Kitchens.
No.
And if you get another coach, it could be different.
No, 100%. But it still has not. Like Baker's still exposed. Baker's still an issue.
Right. But the coaching is the difference between
a playoff team and not being a playoff team. And the difference between winning a championship and not winning a championship is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, well, yeah, but at least they're winning.
And I was gonna say the biggest difference is the running game. They do exactly what I said, like Tom Brady and them should kind of do, get back to the basics and just run the ball down your throat. That's the same thing that Tennessee does. I mean, they throw when they need to, but they running the ball. They're doing exactly what they need to do to win those games. And you utilizing your best talent, getting that ball in the hands of those running backs, and letting them run wild. And that's exactly what's causing them to win. Now, if they get behind, I don't see how they can win any game. But
Baker.
Yeah, that ain't happening. But, as long as they can establish a lead and keep the ball out of Baker's hands, they'll be okay. But in this game, Derrick Henry's going to run all over the board.
All right, you think so?
Yeah.
The Titans ain't bringing any mitts to the game, any other mitts to the game. I'm telling you that. Give me the Browns.
The L.A. Rams at Arizona.
Both garbage teams.
L.A. Rams at Arizona.
You said who be?
Arizona.
He been rolling with Arizona all year.
Yep. FIFA. I'll go.
Come back to me.
Give me. Damn.
It's a tough one. I told you the ones I picked. They tough.
Because I was gonna go with Goff. I was gonna go with the Rams, not Goff, because Goff is ass.
He's been playing ass. He never gives the ball to the defense.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing Sunday.
That's why I pick Arizona, because the golf been playing like shit.
But that.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams.
I'm going Rams too.
Jalen Ramsey locked up Metcalf. I was like, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Arizona.
I'm going with the Rams.
The Rams?
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's one of the few people. We were talking about Tyreek Hill and leaving him on the island. That's the one guy in the league. I'm like, hey, you got him, right? Go do your thing.
Well, FIFO, he looks good against the Metcalf type, but I don't know necessarily if he can do the same thing to D-Hop. D-Hop is something else. And they got other weapons on that team, too. So I think that we'll see what happens. And Aaron Donald is going to have to get in that backfield in that boy's face. It's really the only hope they got.
And I will say this, because I was over with my in-laws Sunday while the game was on.
Okay.
The Tampa Bay game was on.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Walk it back.
I ain't walking it back, FIFO. All I'm saying is that Aaron Donald had one hell of a game. He was beasting. And I was like, man, if he played like that all the time.
He said when he played like that all the time, he make the Pro Bowl, wouldn't he?
Oh, God.
Hey.
Nah, yeah, he was giving them hell, boy. So that's why I'm going with the Rams, because I think he can do the same thing.
It's only based off of defense. That's my thing.
Yep.
It's just defense.
Me too. It was the defense. It was Aaron Donald. Knowing how who's the head coach?
Sean McVay.
No, for the Cardinals.
Oh, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury. The way he likes to move and this, that, and the third, Aaron Donald is poised to be a super disruptive force. And then at the same time, you do got Jalen Ramsey on the back end. And Schultz and I agree. D-Hop, the Julios of the world, those guys are different. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that you can all the way 100% lock them down. But if there's one corner that you're going to ask to task that with, the Rams got that guy. And then they got the guy up front to make things uncomfortable. So that's the reason I'm picking the Rams.
When he beat somebody off the line, got back there, forced the fumble. I don't know if he picked it up and ran it in or he just forced the fumble and somebody else got it. But I was like, God damn.
Someone else got it.
Man, shit.
That's why he gets double, triple team
every
play.
When I watched Hard Knocks this past year, man, that nigga is
he's a beast.
He's the nigga that you got to be like, just shoot him. There's no reason to fight this nigga. Him. Don't fight this nigga. Shoot that nigga. You got to get a gun.
But my only thing is, last week they lost to a San Francisco team, and that right there
That was
Oh,
Jared
right.
Goff.
That's a division game.
And that was Jared Goff. You see that interception he threw?
So
That
this
shit was
one.
bad.
So is this one.
Yeah.
This is a division game.
But this
too.
is off. This is off
This
the
was the fucking Cardinals.
This is off the This is off the loss of the Niners. So I think they're gonna be more motivated because they know that playoff seeding is gonna be big, and they can possibly still have a chance to get in this division if Seattle fumbles a little bit more than they had.
Didn't the Cardinals just lose to the Pats?
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, shout out to Cam.
Coming off that loss too.
They lost to COVID Cam.
CC, that's what they call him in New England. CC.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
This fucking ass chair.
Hey, I'm loving what. Hey, Cam may be there next year.
He might.
Cam may buy a house in New England. He may not have to rent. He may be an owner.
I don't think the Patriots are buying Cam.
Nah.
They stuck with a 40-year-old white man. They can't stick with a 30-year-old black man.
But that 40-year-old white man won 6 Super Bowls. Hey, exactly. Shut the hell up.
I didn't say nothing. I'm just
I
saying
know.
they stuck with an old ass white man, and Cam got him damn near in the playoffs. At least over 5. He's gonna get him over 500. I know Belichick gonna get him there at least.
Well, Buffalo got something to say about that.
They almost beat Buffalo.
Buffalo beating everybody else though.
Buffalo ain't shit. The last game picked the Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans.
Watson.
It's at Houston.
Colts.
Have
You
you
going
seen Phillip
Colts?
Rivers lately?
I've seen him.
Okay.
The Colts has got more talent all around.
Defensively, but
Even offensively, outside of Phillip Rivers.
We're going to Indianapolis.
Y'all are traded to your race, man. Who?
Give me the Sean.
There we go.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston just for the upset because Indy is in more trouble than I think people realize. Just for the fact that they legit don't have a future. That Andrew Luck shit, it's gotten swept on the rug.
That's why I say go get Carson Wentz.
They don't got the budget for it because they got
I know.
they got all
I'm
the
just
defensive
saying.
players. But that's why I'm saying, like, this is the best kept secret as far as in the NFL. Like, what the fuck is going on with the Colts? Because ever since the Andrew Luck shit, I know a bunch of shit has happened. Tom Brady left New England. Cam left Carolina. Like, a lot of people moved a lot of places. But, man, like, this team was supposed to be poised to be a dynasty. And then now they're just like, they going to have to go to the – but they keep winning games, so they can't really get a high draft pick. So you may be right. They may have to give up some defensive players to get Carson Wentz. But
Wentz will be back in the same situation because they ain't going to be able to have shit to put around him.
at least he got a better coach.
Yeah, well, but it'll hurt the building of the team because they probably have to get rid of picks and shit like that. So
that would be a good place for Deshaun in Indianapolis. That's where he should go.
He signed his contract. He good in Houston.
Yeah.
He said, I'd rather be shitty in Houston than be good in Indy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sheldon, I was in Houston. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame him.
Because he won't get much of the blame because they're going for at least a year or two because of how bad.
I'll give it 2 years.
I'll
give it 2 years because this year's COVID with everybody getting fired. Then next year, they'll be like, all right, he don't got no GM or head coach.
Yep, exactly.
After that, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's really all I got for NFL unless y'all got something.
Have they released somebody? De Jour asked if we talked about the NBA Christmas games.
Oh yeah, Sheldon, you posted that.
They released the schedule.
Yeah, they did. They sent the Christmas Day schedule. I'll send it to y'all in the chat.
I'm trying to think, and I can't remember what was our predictions for who we thought was going to play.
I don't think none of our predictions were right, B.
I'm not surprised.
I think that.
But I mean, I think our predictions was wrong, but I think the teams that we the matchup was probably wrong, but I think the teams was right.
All the teams are right.
Okay.
So what?
Yeah.
So what's the games are for Christmas Day is at 12:00 Eastern time. We got the Pelicans versus the Heat. Then we got the next game after that is the Warriors versus the Bucks. Then the next game after that is the Nets versus Celtics. Then the game of the night is Mavs versus Lakers. And then we got the nightcap with the Clippers and Nuggets. Out of those 5 games, which one are y'all more anticipating? Like, what's the highlight game for y'all?
The Mavs and Lakers. just to see what Luka's gonna do this year, and to see what the Lakers are gonna look like. Of course, they're the champions, so of course they get respect to that. Now, me personally, I was gonna say I want to see what Brooklyn's gonna look like because just to see what those guys look like at that point will be interesting. But still, the highlight game is the Mavs and Lakers. To see if Luka can continue, and to see if LeBron and them can stay on course.
So what were the other games?
Which after what? Which one?
Lakers, Mavs,
Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, Bucks, Pelicans, Heat.
Oh, no Lakers?
Oh, he already said
Yeah.
Lakers.
Oh.
Lakers and Mavs.
Oh, he goes.
Yeah, Lakers, Mavs, but I think I'm interested in that Heat Pelicans game.
I don't know why. I would say the Warriors, Bucks, because I'm trying to see if Steph Curry gonna get exposed this year.
Oh,
Hey,
it's not the NBA.
Why are you so disrespectful?
if I'm not
bro?
one thing on this show is I'm consistent.
No, you are disrespectful.
If I'm not one thing on this show, I'm consistent.
and you crazy as
I
hell.
want to see what a Steph Curry led team look like. Because if this nigga, we always in the chat, right? Y'all niggas always be defending the motherfucker, saying he top 10 or whatever all the time. And I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna go that far, but I'll say right now he top 15, top 20. But if that's only based off of resume, y'all talk about how I talked about Tom Brady. I consider resume
right now.
Don't fall for it, B. Not yet.
I'm just saying.
Nick, you're not saying he's top 10 right now. He's not top 10.
I say he's top 20.
Wow. So you don't think he's top 10?
I'm saying he's top 20. I haven't ranked him yet, but I wouldn't put him in my top 10 players all time. No.
You mean all time?
Yeah, I mean all time. Yeah.
I thought you meant now.
No. I'm talking about like that's.
Okay. I was about to be like, what?
Nah.
Nick, you're right in the sense that we do need to see what I'm interested as well to see what he's gonna look like. I ain't gonna say I'm interested to see if he's gonna fall off.
I didn't
I
say.
just want to see if he's anywhere near the same player he was.
I'm just saying.
And if he can make a difference.
I just want to see if he will be exposed. Now he could prove me wrong, but I'm just saying that. I just want to see this dude without Clay. I want to see him as the man because we see LeBron do it. We seen Jimmy do it. We seen Giannis do it.
Jimmy?
I'm just saying we seen niggas lead their teams
Jimmy
to the promised land for the most part. At least
Giannis do it. What promised land? What promised land did Giannis took the bus?
I'm just saying like at least he's the leader of that team. Like he's led a team to 60 wins by himself for the most part.
He a promise of second round exit.
I want to see if Curry as the leader of the team with just basically him and Draymond, they got some young talent, but we don't know who the fuck they are. I know you happy about Oubre and shit, but I want to see if he can get at least 50 to 55 wins without Clay.
All right, man. All right, we got a full basketball show coming soon. Let's see, it was something else. Oh, before we get out of here, we did the reaction video about the fight. Shelton, Nick, thoughts on the fight, and then I say this as a reminder, thanks to Bodega Boy on the Reddit who put up the Muhammad Ali meme. You're about to be kicked out of the Reddit for disrespecting the guy. But no, that was funny though.
This was funny on the Reddit thread from Unreal Gemini. He had this one. He was like, "I'm gonna tell my kids this was the Jake Paul versus." He got a picture of Rocky shit.
Hey, I was crying on Reddit. Man, I was looking at those memes. But to me, man, it was quite entertaining. I actually spent money on it, and I don't regret spending my money on it. I thought that the Nate Robinson fight was gonna be a train wreck. I said it when he was coming to the ring, like, what in the world is he doing? And what happened was kind of what I thought was gonna happen by watching him come out there and try to fight. And the Tyson fight, man, I was impressed with how good a shape Tyson was in and how he didn't get that tired. I was. Now, do I want to see him fight again? No, I want him to stop. But for me to be able to see my favorite two fighters fight at any time, exhibition or whatever, it was worth it for me because those are my favorite two fighters in the world. So that was fun. It was fun for me. It was a fun night.
What about Nate?
Nate, like I said, Nate getting knocked out. I was thinking to myself the whole time, what in the world is Nate doing? I feel so bad for Nate, man, because I felt like Nate should still be in the league. I also wish Nate went and tried to play football. Snoop was hilarious. I watched it back 50 times watching Snoop, just listening to Snoop talk. But I felt bad for Nate, man. I did, man, because he had no business out there trying to fight. He just didn't. I wish he could be doing one of his other passions and something he was good at. Basketball, I thought that Nate was out the league too soon. I just felt like he was a better player than a lot of those bums we got in the league right now. I just feel like he's better. But
he out the league.
Playing, so.
And he out the ring.
He's still laying in the ring. That's what it is. He's still laying in that motherfucker. Ken, you know me. Unlike Sheldon, I ain't paid for shit for most of the time. So I saw the fight, though. Man, that Nate Robinson, bro. He had the Knicks colors on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro. I came in there like, bet. We in there. And then my homeboy told me just one. It's not even a stat. It was just a fact. He said, Nate Robinson is 36. This boy is 23. I was like, in what world does a 36-year-old beat a 23-year-old in the fight?
Only if his name is Floyd Mayweather.
Exactly.
That's the only
and that means you the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Or at least in the conversation. Man, and then the way this nigga was... That nigga was head first. Swinging like a damn kid. Okay, and then, bruh... And then he had the audacity. That's when you look at the backstory of the fight, he called him out. Nate called him out.
Damn.
I saw somebody say Nate made $600 for this fight. Did you see something like that?
He lost $500 when he got knocked out. It was all on. He coughed up his wallet, his keys, and some other shit. Man, bro, I was crying. Some of it was pain, some of it was laughter, because I was like, damn, they got this black man, they got this white boy doing this. He did the Muhammad Ali pose over Nate.
I know, damn.
The 3-time dunk champion.
4 times.
4 times?
It set us back, man.
He got slam dunked.
Nah, the thing of the night, they had the memes ready. You know what I'm saying? I saw the one with Simba pushing up on Nate. Man, they got the Nate Robinson challenge. If y'all haven't checked that out, make sure y'all do.
Oh no,
bro, they got it's basically like planking but worse.
And it's 600,000, Shelton. The chat got us. Yeah.
But yeah, like shit. Yeah, that man, he should never get back in the ring. Shit, he shouldn't even order onion rings. Just avoid rings nonetheless.
You get a good night's sleep so you don't have rings on the eyes. Yeah, everything.
But the Tyson, I was actually very impressed. It was not a draw. I think Tyson won. But I was impressed with Jones Jr. because you could easily tell off rip he did not want to be there.
Nope.
He did not want to be there. It was if it wasn't for the million or how much they get paid $1 million each, I think.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that $1 million check, bro,
he was there
them body shots he was taking, he was wrapped up against Tyson like they was homeboys, like it was the first greeting, like.
But you could tell from the weigh-in, like to me that was the first telltale sign that Roy Jones he was here but he wasn't there, like because you saw Tyson is wired different. Tyson is one
he's an animal.
He's an animal. He just and even at 50 or however old he is, he can still flick it on and off. Where Roy Jones, you can tell he been checked out of boxing.
He's a family
You know
man.
what I'm saying? Exactly. And you just see it in Roy Jones' face in that weigh-in. He was just like, oh shit, Mike is for real.
Mike bulked
Why
up.
you looking at like me like this right now? You can tell
Mike
he
was in
ain't
shape.
problems.
Mike was in shape.
Bro, Mike Tyson is an animal, bro. Like he's just a pure beast.
I said it on Twitter. I was like, man, Mike Tyson the only nigga I know who could put fear in my heart with coochie cutters on. Like that. And then you saw the post game with Roy Jones. He was like, Mike was like, yeah, I'm down to fight again. Roy was like, look, I'm gonna talk to my family first. But if the family good, I'm good. Nigga, he ain't coming back.
No, he not.
That nigga was holding his ribs as he was in the post game. He was holding.
That's because Roy had been sent Nate a couple times before that, so he know what that's like. So he trying to get back in there and do that again.
Well, I think it
Running
depends
back
on
is
if that family's
knocked
spending
off.
that money.
Say it again now.
No, I was saying if the family's spending that money, they may, hey, look, $1 million. Literally, hey, bro, you might have to go take this for another what?
His wife gonna be like, "Look, I'm your rib.
16
you can lose
minutes.
one. We gotta get this money." Hey, but nah, it was more entertaining than I thought. The whole night in general, for the most part, outside of some of the performances and shit that I did not get, that was just, I don't know what that was about, but overall, I thought it was actually good. If I paid money, I wouldn't have minded. So I guess I'm in Schultz's shoes.
Man.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week. We appreciate you guys coming by to hang with us for an hour or so, as usual. Last I saw, this was like a day or so ago, that we were 11 days away from preseason.
Yeah, man.
Kicking off. So things about to kick back up, man. So we're about to get back into some basketball stuff, and I may do it.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick. Oh, man, that close it out, Ken. I'm sorry. I asked you after you close it out.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about doing a basketball show, y'all. I think I got the name too, but I'll tell y'all off air. Maybe a basketball NBA only show. I don't know, but y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all would rock with something like that. It may not be live or anything like that. It may just be video. But you know, just an idea floating through my head. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. We'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Hey.